I've often heard the phrase that art imitates life, but this might be the rare case and scenario where life is actually imitating art. Because many moons ago, there was a show on Adult Swim called The Boondocks, where a character named Thomas Dubois was going through some relationship issues. His wife was a super fan of Usher, wanted to meet him, and she actually got the opportunity to do that. But Mr. Dubois was feeling a little insecure about this. He was afraid that if his wife and Usher were in a room, sparks would fly and the singer-superstar icon would steal his girl. Now, his fears and insecurities were actually reinforced and eloquently explained by another character on the show.
Usher, that dick is my age.
So you guys don't think I'm overreacting?
I don't think so.
She made you look like a bitch in front of Usher.
Boy, watch your mouth.
Granddad, she did make Mr. Dubois look like a bitch.
Yeah, we all know she made Tom look like a bitch. We found a different way to say it.
But I don't know the non-curse way to say he got bitch.
Humiliated, castrated, emasculated.
All right, I get the point.
I mean, I could see if it was a real nigga. If you lost your hoe to T.I., I'd be like, hey, that's T.I. But Usher, you better check that hoe, Mr. Dubois.
Now, not only is he afraid that Usher's gonna steal his girl, but if he does, it's not like it's 50 Cent or T.I. Like, dude's not walking around with crazy muscles or a gun. He's just out there singing, looking sexy, stealing your woman. You really gonna get bodied by singing Usher? And in response to this, Mr. Dubois actually goes up to her, stands his ground, and tells her, how dare you do this to me? How dare you go talk to Usher, flirt with him, and make me feel the way I feel? And Mr. Dubois ends up taking an L because in one case, his wife says that he's insecure, immature, and basically being a crybaby because she's just a fan. And at the same time, Usher's security feels like he's a threat and he gets stomped out. So he takes 2 lumps physically and emotionally, and the episode ends. Now, this scenario actually played out in real life and actually came with a warning shot before getting straight to the formulaic scenario. At a concert, Usher was going around, he was looking glistening, sparkling, he had his leather jacket on, and he saw a woman in the audience. He went up to her, brought her up, started singing to her, she was dancing a little bit. Ends up that woman was the girlfriend of Mr. Joe Budden. Now, Joe Budden is a podcaster, popular figure, and people started to make fun of this situation because in their minds, they were thinking of the Boondocks. I mean, the Boondocks is like Simpsons for black people. They knew immediately what could happen with Usher. He was a real threat. But thankfully, Mr. Joe Budden stayed cool, calm, collected. He wasn't insecure. He went along with the joke. And he said at the end of the day, Usher did not steal my girl. He was able to walk away unscathed. But perhaps it's only because he's a hard-nosed vet in this game and was able to navigate the shark waters that was an Usher concert. Because a couple of weeks later, there was another woman at the concert, and Usher did a similar thing, but it played out very differently. This woman was another popular figure named Keke Palmer. She was at the Usher concert, fangirling like no other. She showed up in an almost see-through dress. Her yams was out, and when Usher came up singing, she started shaking that thing in front of him. It didn't matter if the sun was out or not, the buns was out. She was loving it, and Usher was loving it too. He had the sunglasses on, so he was able to look wherever he wanted and not be caught being Usher, the threat to humanity. Now, what ends up happening is that her significant other actually went on Twitter to complain about this, saying, "You're a mother, you're my significant other, how could you do this? Have some respect for yourself." Now, a lot of people were wondering, why would you go on Twitter to talk to your significant other? You could literally walk in the other room and talk to that person, but it seemed like he wanted to go to Twitter to get reinforcements. And unfortunately for him, this was not the case. This is not the UAE Twitter. Twitter is pretty damn liberal. They saw this and immediately started clowning this man. They said, "You're insecure, you're a crybaby." And then they came and hit him with, "You're actually a misogynistic piece of garbage for trying to tell your wife what to wear. And just because your mother can't do certain things, how dare you try to control her? And you're an absolute clown for trying to get clout online and make your wife look like a fool." Now, this dude took a monumental L. Dude basically got called out for being insecure, trying to get attention, trying to get support, and at the same time, Usher was able to leave unscathed without any worries in the world. Now, I'll be honest, this guy might actually be smart to go onto Twitter to complain as opposed to going and talking to Usher directly, because if we go off the Boondocks episode, not only would he be called an insecure baby, he would get stomped out by Usher's security. So maybe he saw the episode and he was trying to avoid that canon event. But at the end of the day, the result was the same. His wife got off scot-free, he looked like a clown, and at the end of the day, he couldn't do anything but take the L.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. and really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!